for its fodder purpose, and that's why I want to highlight here. With this brief background, we conducted a research to know the performance of Mucuna varieties, that is Mucuna pruriens, in a plantation crop, that to be in arecanut. Arecanut is a major crop in our region, and many of the farmers are growing this Mucuna, that is Nasguni Gada in Kannada and Cowhage in Hindi, and in Sanskrit it is called as Kapikachu and Atmagupta, and it is having a, earlier it was cultivated only for a medicinal purpose. As sir was highlighted in the morning, Dr. Chanakeshwar sir, leguminous crops are very, very important for the fodder purpose. And this crop, since last 10 years, many farmers are growing in their field not as a medicinal crop. It is growing only for the purpose of to have a huge quantity of fodder during the odd season. And it is having multi advantages. It is grown for medicinal purpose, it is grown for food purpose, and it is grown for fodder purpose. It is grown for to avoid the soil erosion. It is grown for soil reparation. It is grown for nitrogenous enhancement. It is having multifaceted crop. That's why we took research on this crop and selected some of the accessions and collected genotypes across the country and planted in 2004 in arecanut plantation in the field of plantation spices and medicinal aromatic crop field at the College of Horticulture, Mudigere in Karnataka. I want to highlight about these aspects. I will not take much time. I will finish it. I wanted to actually highlight what I told now, and just I will give you a brief about the final result of this crop for a period of 1 year. But actually it is a 3-year research, as I was proposed in a staff meeting in 2014, and it has to be carried another 2 years, and it is already sown. A second season crop is sown in the field, and it is a 2-month-old. And this data, what I want to highlight or present here, is a 2014 1-year data. Mucuna, this is a leguminous crop, and it is actually originated to tropical part of the Asia as well as Africa, and it is commercially cultivated in India, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Iran, as well as in Malaysia and Indonesia. All parts of the plants having valuable. It is used for medicinal purpose because it is the one crop which is having a diverse medicinal properties. Starts from our hair loss to the cancer disease, and very important, this is cultivated for medicinal purposes because the seed is having L-dopa content, L3,4-diphenylalanine. This is one of the important constituent present in the seeds that is used for Parkinson's disease. It is a major disease increasing day by day in the whole world, and many people are suffering from this disease after the age of 60, and there is no synthetic medicine available in the world to cure this disease. Only is preventive is the only measure, but nowadays the medicines are also prepared in synthetic origin, and these medicines are tried on human beings, but these medicines are having a side effects, and many scientists have worked on importance of medicines obtained from the plant sources as well as synthetic sources, and one scientist conducted experiment on these aspects in 2004, and they got a good result by obtaining the L-dopa from seeds of Mucuna is having a highly effective to control the Parkinson's disease. And other than medicinal uses are pods are directly used as a vegetable in Asia Minor as well as India and in some other African countries. And the seed have a high viscosity, and sir told most of the forage crops now we are cultivating for feeding the animals are rich in carbohydrates, but this is the one crop which is having the highest protein content, and that's why many of the private companies which they produce the fodder that is or the food products which is used to give cow and buffaloes are planning to have this crop on large scale. Okay, I think it is in a future demand crop for the fodder. And Cowhage has a potential important traditional value as a protein, and the beans are consumed either as such or along with cereals, and it is grown as a cover crop. This is commercially grown as a cover crop in a hilly region because of it is having a multi-purpose uses. It is used to conserve the soil. It is having a ability to enhance the fertility of the soil because it is a capacity to fix the maximum nitrogen in the soil, and it is usually grown as a usually it is grown on a wastelands. If you grow this crop on wastelands, that land can be converted into a good fertile lands in a short period of time. If it is grown continuously for 3 times on the same land, that will become say fertile, because it picks the maximum nitrogen from the atmospheric, and it will convert it into nitrogen in the soil. Objective of this research was to evaluate the Mucuna varieties available in the country, and they were collected and shown in the field for its performance, growth performance, as well as flowering characters. But we conducted research on growth, yield, L-DOPA content, and some of the antimicrobial properties. But I want to highlight here about the importance of this crop on growth performance, biomass yield, and as well as flowering characters. These are the genotypes collected from the different parts of the country. 6 genotypes are collected from IIHR Bangalore, and 2 are collected from the farmer source. One is from Nadukeri, which comes under the district of Chikmagalur, and one is from Davangere district. These are all of all the seeds are entirely different in color, shape, and size. Some of them are very white in color, some of them are white with black, some of them are pure jet black color, some of them are black with white dots. This is the experiment conducted in the field of plantation, spices, medicinal, and aromatic crop land in college. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir. I will finish it within 3 minutes. Okay, sir. This is about the performance of Cowhage. IIHR Arka Dhanvantari is performed very well about its growth parameters. This is the graph. This graph shows the maximum trifoliate leaves per plant, and highest number of leaves were noticed in case of Arka Dhanvantari in all stages of the crop growth. And this slide shows a fresh weight of leaves, stem, and pods. The highest fresh weight of leaves and fresh weight of stem and fresh weight of pods was noticed in case of Arka Dhanvantari, and it is on farm with the IIHR Selection-2. Performance of Cowhage genotypes for flowering parameters. The early flowering was noticed in case of Arka Aswini, and late flowering was noticed in case of Arka Dhanvantari, and which is on par with the IIHR Selection-2. And number of flowers per inflorescence was noticed maximum in case of Farmer Selection-1, and number of flowers per inflorescence was noticed maximum in Arka Dhanvantari. This is because of it is a long flowering duration. The crop is long duration. It grows to it will be remains fresh for a period of around 6 months. And the same, it is that is in tables, and it is in the figure. And fresh weight of root as well as total biomass, and highest fresh weight was noticed in IIHR Selection-2, and lowest fresh weight was noticed in Farmer Selection-1, which is collected from the farmer field. But this is the release varieties having a high fresh biomass. It can be, and my conclusion from these are the pods collected after maturity from our own field. And final conclusion of this research from 1 year experiment is, here there are many advantages by using these genotypes. Some genotypes are early bearing, some genotypes are late bearing, some genotypes have identified for best growth performance, and the genotypes which are long durated having a 2 advantages. One, you can grow it as a fodder purpose. Another advantage is you can use this one for plantation crops as a intercrop to suppress the weed, because weeds are the major problem in cultivation of plantation crops, and that's why the maximum area under cultivation of Mucuna is in plantation crops, especially in arecanut, coffee, and rubber plantations in a hill zone of Karnataka. And if it is a short durated crop, there is also an advantage. If you want to grow the crop in early stage, you can grow it. Arka Aswini is one of the genotype which will performs well, and it will complete its life cycle in 4.5 months, and that can be grown under the even rainfed condition. 1 or 2 rains occurs during the sowing season, that's enough to take care of the crop. It will complete its life cycle, and it will produce a less number of seeds, but it is economic. You can use it as a fodder purpose, and seeds can be used for protein purpose. Seeds can be used as a vegetable and a cereals. Many advantages are there. And IIHR Selection-2 and Arka Dhanvantari are long duration genotypes that can be grown for maximum nitrogen fixation and to avoid the weeds, especially in the plantation crops. And this is about the Mucuna crop. And further, many farmers visited, and two success story I want to highlight from our research, that many farmers came after conducting this research and took seeds, and they have sown their seeds which from our station and shown in a Tarikere Taluk, Doddali, and in Dhawanagere district. Two farmers, they have not conducted experiment, but they have sown the seeds of each genotypes in their plot in a one row, and they finally conclude that whatever the research which drawn from our research is very similar with their findings, but they are not in a proper manner, but they simply sown, and they told that whatever it is short durated, they phone called and told me in the last month itself, sir, whatever the seeds sown, which are some are short durated and some are long durated. Long durated highly helpful for production of the biomass for fodder purpose, and they will suppress the weeds in maximum quantity. That will help a lot for the farmers, those who grow the plantation crops like coconut and arecanut in Malnad region as well as the Maidan region. And this year onwards, we have two plans by using these accessions, and the same accessions were given to the Zonal Agriculture and Horticulture Research Station for conducting another research to evaluate these genotypes in 2015, which was conducted in 2014, and the same seeds after harvesting of these all genotypes along with these 8, along with some of the genotypes obtained from the NVPGR in New Delhi, they have supplied 6 genotypes having 6 numbers in each genotypes, and total 13-14 genotypes were given to the Zonal Agriculture and Horticulture Research Station for conducting another experiment, and they also came with the same findings, and that was conducted in a rubber plantation, and we conducted this research in a arecanut plantation. And farmers again approached me in last week, sir, can you take one experiment regarding how many genotypes are suited for cultivation under a drought condition? And immediately it was came in my mind, and I already assigned one work to the one of my student, but many of what sir told, some of the students are not showing interest to take this kind of research. They want to conduct research on medicinal plants, because my field is I am working as an assistant professor in College of Horticulture, Mudugere, as a specialist in medicinal and aromatic crops, and I usually used to give the crops to medicinal crops. I used to give a research on medicinal crops, and they will be highlighted, and they will be much demand in the private companies as well as in some of the pharmaceutical companies. And what my idea is this time onwards is to give same crop to the two students, work on this to identify the genotypes for a drought condition as well as for rainfall condition. High rainfall also, the same genotypes can be sown in the field as a sole crop as well as a intercrop, and the same genotypes can be given to Kadura and Tarikere taluks. Sir knows very well, Chanakeshwar sir, about these two taluks. They are highly drought prone areas. To evaluate this, and if any private person or government is come forward to sponsor the students will ready to accept this kind of research. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my few words here.